6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Aisha Nayab. First, the headline. Prime Minister says media is of utmost importance for development of society and mental and intellectual training of people. Foreign Minister has reaffirmed Pakistan's commitment to become part of international efforts to tackle the challenge of climate change. United Nations and Pakistan have vowed to address issues related to malnutrition in children and emergency response for flood affectees. Finance Minister has stressed the need for reforms of global financial institutions to address needs of developing countries. The United States has voiced support for a humanitarian pause to Israel's war in Gaza. And in the ICC Cricket World Cup, Sri Lanka is chasing a victory target of 358 against India in Mumbai. And now the news in detail. Caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haque Kakar says protecting rights of media representatives is responsibility of the state. He was talking to a delegation of Pakistan Broadcasters Association that called on him in Islamabad today. They discussed the problems of mass media, especially electronic media in the country. The delegation informed the Prime Minister about the issues of non-payment of dues by the government in the context of advertisements. The Prime Minister assured the delegation of payment of advertisement dues and directed the Ministry of Information and Broadcasting to resolve issue as soon as possible. Anwarul Haque Kakar said media is the fourth pillar of the state and is of utmost importance for the development of society and mental and intellectual training of people. Caretaker Foreign Minister Jalil Abbas Jalani has reaffirmed Pakistan's commitment to become part of international efforts to tackle the challenge of climate change. He was addressing a pre-COP28 event held in Islamabad today, ahead of the COP28 conference in Dubai next month. Jalil Abbas Jalani said the conference should devise a global framework for climate adaptation with clear targets and indicators. He hoped that successful conduct of COP28 will correct the global course of action, with developed countries leading the responsibility, operationalization of the damage and loss fund, and achieving global resilience through adaptation. He said climate change is a global problem that needs collective global solutions. Speaking on the occasion, Caretaker Minister for Information and Broadcasting Murtaza Solanki underscored the need for creating awareness about climate change through the medium of drama, music, and programs. The United Nations World Food Programme and Ministry of Planning and Development and Special Initiative have joined hands to address issues related to malnutrition in children and emergency response for flood affectees. The development came during a meeting between Caretaker Minister for Planning, Development and Special Initiative Mohammad Sami Saeed and the newly appointed Country Director of the UN World Food Programme in Pakistan, Koko Yoshima, today. During the meeting, both sides discussed areas of mutual interest while focusing on food security policy, stunting, prevention, education, and emergency response for flood-affected communities. The meeting also addressed emergency response strategies for flood-affected populations, emphasizing the need for climate-resilient and climate-adaptable policies and infrastructure. Finance Minister Dr. Shamshad Akhtar has stressed the need for reforms of global financial institutions to address needs of developing countries, especially those most impacted by climate events. She was virtually addressing the UNESCO Committee on Macroeconomic Policy, Poverty Reduction and Financing for Development held in Bangkok. She urged the IMF to restore the enhanced access limits established during the pandemic. The National Price Monitoring Committee has directed all relevant authorities to reduce price difference between wholesale and retail items and maximize relief for the common man. The directives were issued at a meeting of committee held in Islamabad today with Minister for Planning and Development Mohammad Sami Saeed in the chair. The meeting reviewed the prices of essential commodities and asked relevant authorities to maintain food prices. The Senate has extended the National Accountability Amendment Ordinance 2023 for a further period of 120 days. To this respect, the House today passed a resolution moved by Law Minister Ahmed Irfan Aslam. The extension will take effect from 31st of the last month. This is Radio Pakistan. Caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haq Kakar will embark on an official visit to Tashkent, Uzbekistan to participate in the Economic Cooperation Organization Summit commencing on Wednesday next. At a weekly news briefing in Islamabad today, Foreign Office spokesperson Mumtaz Zahra Baloch said the Prime Minister at the summit will reaffirm Pakistan's commitment to ECO Vision 2025 and promotion of cooperation in areas of trade, transport, connectivity, energy, tourism, and economic growth and productivity. The Prime Minister will present Pakistan's vision for future work of organization and promotion of regional connectivity and mutual prosperity. As regards the situation in Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the spokesperson said Indian occupation forces continue to commit human rights violations in the occupied territory. She said the international community must urge India to bring an end to its occupation and implement the UNSC resolutions that recognize the right to self-determination of the people of Kashmir. She said Pakistan will continue to extend political, diplomatic, and moral support to Kashmiris for just and peaceful settlement of Jammu and Kashmir dispute. Expressing concerns over the dire situation in Gaza, the spokesperson said the UN Security Council must act and fulfill its responsibility of upholding peace. She said the world body must call for lifting the siege, protecting civilians, and facilitating humanitarian corridors for provision of uninterrupted essential supplies of the beleaguered people of Gaza. The government has launched a helpline number 1700 in special control rooms to assist provide guidance regarding deportation of illegal foreigners. The staff deputed at control rooms will be available round the clock to provide guidance and resolve issues. General public can also report any information about illegal foreign nationals at this helpline. Pakistan has unveiled a commemorative postage stamp to celebrate the 75th year of diplomatic ties with Netherlands. The stamp was unveiled by Foreign Secretary Sirius Sajjad Qazi and Netherlands Ambassador Henny F. de Ferres today. The stamp, designed by Pakistani artist Aisha Khalid, symbolizes the long-standing friendship between the two countries. United States President Joe Biden has voiced support for a humanitarian pause to Israel's war in Gaza. The U.S. president, during a campaign speech in Washington after being interrupted by a protester who urged for an immediate ceasefire, said we need a pause. The United States president also urged to evacuate all Americans trapped in the besieged Palestinian enclave. As the world is observing International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists today, Kashmiri journalists continue to face killings, murders, attempts, arrests, and threats at the hands of Indian forces personnel in occupied Jammu and Kashmir. A report released by Kashmir Media Service on the day today said journalists are working in the most trying condition in the territory and are booked under draconian laws for speaking the truth. In ICC Cricket World Cup, chasing a victory target of 358 runs against India in Mumbai, Sri Lanka were no runs for no loss in first overs a short while ago. Batting first, India scored 357 runs for the loss of 8 wickets in allotted 50 overs. And finally, the weather report. Dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while cold in upper parts during the next 12 hours. However, rain, wind, thunderstorm with snowfall over mountains is expected at isolated places in Kashmir. Fog and smog is likely to occur in Mangla, Sialkot, Narowal, Gujranwala, Lahore, Okara, Sahiwal, Sargoda, Mandi Bhautin, Johorabad, Faisalabad, Bahawalpur, Dera Ghazi Khan and surrounding areas during morning hours. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk and also watch live video streaming of our bulletin on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.